Mr Speaker, I want to begin by thanking the members who have contributed so far in this debate and express my regret that on my rough calculations it doesn't look like this will have the numbers to get to a select committee where I'm sure it would have enjoyed the pleasure of further debate. I have to say to the members from the National Party who have contributed, particularly the ones from Canterbury, that people who have been involved in the Central Plains Water Scheme intrusion on private land will be very disappointed that Nicky Wagner, being fully aware of the consequences of Central Plains Water Scheme onto private land in the Melbourne Hills area, chose not to support the local farming community who are outraged that their private land is no longer theirs because the law does not allow the Minister to do anything other than say yes. And Dr. the Honourable Nick Smith should know better because he's had exactly the same advice. If the Central Plains Water Scheme was given to Dr. Smith to give requiring authority status, he would have no option but to approve it, as the Minister in 2005 had no option but to approve it. It should be changed. We should not have the private land rights of individuals intruded on for anything other than a project which is necessary and in the public interest. In my view, that is a simple change that National should be grown up enough to allow to go to a select committee. So what the bill does, Mr Speaker, is acknowledge that the current law does not give the Minister for the Environment the range of tools that he or she should have, so that in the event of a project application coming before them, they are asked to give requiring authority status to an organisation for a project. They then would be able to say no, it isn't in the public interest for that project to have access and use of private land. I don't know many New Zealanders who would say other than that is fair. That's actually what this very small change would do. Give fairness to people like the farmers from Melbourne Hills who for generations have lived on that piece of land. They consider it theirs, it is part of their history, and it won't be part of their future because the law allows organisations to use part of their land for their project. In this case, actually, they lose part of their land if the project goes ahead. So my sole point in proposing this legislation was to give the Minister for the Environment another tool. So what it would do is increase the threshold that an organisation would have to reach before the Minister would give it approval as a requiring authority. So the Minister would first of all have to be satisfied that granting them requiring authority status was necessary. It's not just something that is convenient, something that would be useful to them. A higher standard would be required. It would have to be necessary. It would no longer just be appropriate for the applicant to be a requiring authority. That's all that the law allows at the moment. It has to be appropriate. The Minister would require the application to be necessary, and that's another important increase in the threshold. And the Minister for the Environment would also have to be satisfied that there is public interest for the project. So it's something that the organisation needs to have requiring authority status. It is necessary, it's rather than just appropriate, and it's also needed. So the concerns that have been generated around many parts of the country actually over the last couple of decades, but particularly around the Melbourne Hills area and the Central Plains Water Scheme, would be removed, so that ordinary New Zealanders who have worked hard to buy land or have inherited it from their parents and grandparents would be once again given the security of knowing that land is genuinely theirs, as it says in the title, but as it would be in reality. I want to urge the National Party just to reconsider before the vote's taken on this bill. I want to acknowledge and thank the other parties who have given this bill consideration and agreed for it to go to select
I regret to
committee.
advise the
That's
member
place for
that her
that
time
debate,
has
and I urge
expired. Members, the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those who are of that opinion will say aye. Aye. Contrary opinion will say no. No. The noes have it. Party vote is called for. Clerk, please conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
58 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
43 votes in favour.
Green Party.
9 votes in favour.
ACT New Zealand.
5 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
Eri mga poti hei tautoko.
Progressive.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Members, the ayes are 59, the noes are 63. The motion is not agreed to. I now call on members' order of